So, I it says it's a viper knife. I don't know what that is, but it says it's made in Maniago, Italy. A techno cut. Cotelli per passion. Passion. I don't know what this is, but I bought it. It's a V598 2CB. All right, let's get in it, man. Enough. Yeah, so this was one, man, has this been sitting around in a box for a minute or 1,000? It's been here forever. And I'm starting to dig through my pile. And this one was in there. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited to see it because I like different, right? And it's from Italy. I mean, it's weighty. It's got some heft to it. Looks like bronze, anodized, backspacer, titanium pocket clip, bronze anodized. Oh, look at this crown spine here. It's crowned all the way up there. And then they treated that a little bit differently. Well, is there any info in here that I'm missing other than like a warranty card? Nah. All right. Let's put all that back in that box. And then, man, we gotta smash this blade out of here. What's going on? And I don't know that all that's titanium, but we'll check it with a magnet. Here we go. It's a liner lock, I think. Nice jimping on the flipper tab, and away we go. It says Katla Viper M390 steel and Vox. And yeah, it's a liner lock. Nice thumb stud action. How about a Spidey flick? Oh yeah. Caught me off guard, actually. The Spidey flick did. Yeah, wonderful. It's got a choke up spot. It's got a regular spot back here. Get that around. I can get it around here. Nice little traditional blade shape. It is a dual grind, stone washed M390. The tension on that lock is kind of stiff. I'm going to get that out of the way and check the blade. So the blade's super free, but that lock bar, it's got a lot of tension on it. So it'll be interesting to see where that lands once we get it apart. I'm measuring. We're just inside the scale. So I'll be curious to see where that's at when we take it apart. Because the tension on that is definitely affecting the action. Nice micarta. It's a good stuff. Grippy. Very cool. Well, let's get in it. Come on. Let's check it in proper. Pivot screw wasn't crazy tight. And it's in there backwards. So hopefully we can flip it. But I won't know until we take it apart. See if I can pop that pivot out of there. Nah, I'm gonna have to take it apart. I want to flip it, so I'm gonna pull these screws from this side. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but we'll try. Got that one. And the pocket clip definitely needs tension. So I'm gonna pull it. Got that one. Got that one. Nice. Those all came good. Let's get that pocket clip off. Tiny little screws recessed into the micarta. It's got some straight lines, so as long as it stays straight, it'll probably be all right. Be all right. Not a lot of lube in here, if any. Ceramic bearings. Or no, they're steel. Well, wait, what are they? I mean, I'm going to say they're steel. There's some grease in there. It almost looks like dry grease. I don't know. But yeah, it's a mess. So some light oil will help. That's steel. That is not titanium. Well, I take that back. It's not magnetic. I think it's copper. Yeah, it's got to be copper because it's so heavy. It's got to be copper. What about these collars? Yeah, I'm going to say they're copper as well. The steel in the steel shot in the bearings, they're brass, but the steel shot is magnetic. But these collars are copper. Yep, and I'm sure it says that wherever there's information on the knife, it'll say copper. You know, because you don't put copper on a knife like that and then not brag it. You know, not brag about it. Pocket clips titanium. The liners are steel, both sides. Yep. I mean, there's some stuff going on here. I like the copper. It's cool. It'll patina through time. Internal stop pins on the blade. Blade stock is, ooh, it's thick and heavy. Yeah, that's a legit blade. It is definitely heavier than I thought it would be. That's legit, man. That's girthy, dude. It's got girth. Is girth a measurement of like width and depth, or can girth describe weight? I think I use it to describe weight. It's a polite way of saying uh, she's big boned or he's chubby. Yeah, he's got some girth. Yeah, I think it's more the size of something, not the weight of something. Now that I'm saying it, so I probably need to stop saying it like that. Be confusing people because everything else I say is so precise and crystal clear. I don't want that to be confusing. You follow me? Yeah. Idiot. You know, the tough thing is anybody that's kind of new to the channel, and I'm gonna, for some reason, it's just that whole play is appealing to me right now, and so I'm not going to explain it. Yeah, if uh, if it's taken seriously, I guess from my perspective, it's even more fun. You know what I mean? And I'm not one to explain myself, so if people get bent and because of it, it's even funnier. All right, I'm definitely going to put a little tension on that, but I got to be careful because it's titanium. So, like if it's spring steel, Bruce spring steel, you bend that and it'll retain where you bend it to. On titanium like this, it's not going to stay in the bent position as much. It'll retain its original shape more. The other thing is I could snap it. So you got to be a little more careful. But to put tension on that, I want to bend that like so. And I close that gap a little bit. I like it. Yeah, should have some tension on there. Thank you. All right, I think we're ready. Are you ready? Yeah, okay. And we want to flip that pivot to the other side, which we can. I like it. Got a little steel washer. We're going to go polish side up. And where's my blade? Yeah, we're going to put the cage into the blade because it's recessed. I always try to put that cage into the recess. I find them the opposite of that all the time, so it's more of a preference for me. I can't say it's 100% right. That internal stop pin is being stopped by the scale on both sides. Pretty nice. Whoo, is that slick. Very slick. Put the cage into the recess again. And I'm going to put just a drop where that detent ball is running on that blade. Speaking of that, I want to look at this now. And so here's where we're at now, and that's where I need to be. And so I can take a little bit off of that. I'm not going to take a lot, but just a tiny little bit. Yeah. Okay. So backspacer. Okay. Had a little break there. Yeah, so let's get the backspacer on. And we can put shiny side down on this. There we go. And then this side scale should snap into place. Yeah. I dig it. Nested in the micarta. Pretty cool. I like nested liners. Makes for a simple action. Okay. So now we're reversed. I want to put one screw back here to balance how all that's coming together. And then I'll check that action before we put the pocket clip and the rest of these screws. Make sure that we're locking up properly, that it's running well, and that the lock doesn't fail. So I'm going to check all that. Make sure we're tight. We are. Ooh, that thing's awful smooth now. Wow. All right, let's make sure we're not going to fail. Nope. No play. No play. Wonderful. All right, let's finish putting it together. Pocket clip. We're going to put that back screw in first. I mention it fairly frequently, but whenever you modify, and honestly, even just put a pocket clip in, whether you modify it or not, should always start with that back screw. It's closer to the scale, and you run less of a risk of stripping out. Like if you do that front screw first, it's far enough away from the actual scale that you can run the risk of stripping that screw out. And they're tiny screws a lot of times. So you don't want to put any unnecessary, tension on it, especially when you only got a couple of threads in there. So I always recommend start with that back screw first. Ooh, there's a ton of tension on that now. Yeah, look at this thing, man. Ooh. Running really well. I'll make sure I'm centered. It feels like I'm off just slightly. And it's because I'm too tight. Yeah, let me change that. I mean, the action, I'm going to call it a A minus. Access to the lock bar, this is lowered. Got nice jimping, sharp jimping on the actual liner lock itself, and very intuitive to get to it. Now that I've tuned it a little bit, super nice. The thumb action is wonderful. The spidey flick, drop shut, very hydraulic, very smooth. The bearings are doing their job in there. Yeah, wonderful. Ergonomics, really nice grip here. It starts to get thinner to the back, so a grip like that sometimes can feel like you're falling off, but it does kind of lock my pinky finger in there. It's got good jimping on the spine. If I press into that jimping, it's hard to get past it. I can get past it, so I'm not going to call it combat jimping, but it's good stuff. Yeah, I'm really locked in. This jimping helps as well. nice and comfortable. The pocket clip disappears. It's got a really good reverse grip. Everything fits in well. I can cap that with my thumb. Very nice. I can get this grip. My thumb fits. I can cap it nice. And I'd rather be here smashing down than here. It's just not intuitive. It's going against the action and against the sharp part of the blade, where this is going with the sharp part of the blade and against the strongest part of the lock. So it looks like it's got like a semi skull crusher on the backside. Definitely got a lanyard hole. Of course, it's got that copper backspacer in there. Pretty cool. Let's check that pocket clip. See what kind of tension we created there. Definitely fits the thick stuff. There's maybe a ½ inch sticking out. It shows off the copper. It's definitely drier tension. It's really holding on well. I like it. And even in my back pocket, it's like I say, it's got a little bit of a reveal. If you had a lanyard on it, that lanyard would be knotted up right there, hanging over by the pocket clip. Wonderful. Great tension. Retention. See if we got blade contact. So I can just touch the edge of that blade right there. I'm not even sure if I'm touching a sharp part. It's right on the very corner of that blade, that spot right there. The rest of that's good. And then the tip is recessed below that backspacer. So clip's good, tip's good. And I am confident that I can handle this knife any old way I want, and I'm not going to cut myself. But I can touch right there. I'm going to just put a little cautionary tale that is exposed there. They've done a great job rolling and polishing all this top part of the blade here, even this finger choil area, which is wonderful. It's got a great little finger choil right there. Wonder if that M390 is sharp. And it's a dual grind, so I am going to check that top grind. Yeah, it's crazy sharp, the whole blade. Wonderful. All right, well, let's look this thing up. How much and where can you get it? It's a Katla Viper knife in M390. Okay, well, these look to be around $175. Now, Timber's Edge Knives probably going to have this for considerably less than that. So if you're looking for one, I would definitely go to timbersedgeknives.com and check for this one. I think you'd find it substantially less than the 175. Even at the 175 with a discount code, puts this down, 150s, low 150s, maybe less. So yeah, pretty cool. It's a Voxnays design, a Viper knife made in Maniago, Italy. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Just a lot of cool little things going on here. Yep.